we're going to move on to our last topic, and you might be saying, well, Ricky, this podcast is pretty long.
Feels strange, right?
We've got 4 of them this week, and this is the bonus one for you guys, as we usually have 3. And this is because the Minnesota Vikings have kind of come out and said that they're eyeing a December return for a certain Adrian Peterson. And Mark, I'm going to be very simple with this one. If he just comes back in December, I'm not going to even pick in a week. If he comes back in December, can Adrian Peterson come back and virtually save the Viking season?
No, I don't believe so. Well, first of all, I want to criticize a December return.
They're saying mid-December.
That's 4 games. And mid-December, there's 2 games. Like, that doesn't mean much of anything. If he came back today and he's going to be there for the Lions on Thanksgiving, okay, I'll give that to you. There's a chance.
According to the ESPN article, it says, and I quote, if Peterson stays on track, 2 possibilities for his return could be a home game against the Colts on December 18th or the Vikings rematch against the Packers at Lambeau Field on the 24th.
I fear that could be a little too late at that time. You're going to Detroit. I mean, yes, this is the vengeance game for Minnesota, but they're going to Detroit and playing them. Mm-hmm. Detroit's doing really well right now.
This is the season. This Thanksgiving Day is the season in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. It's the season. If we lose that game, we're done.
Well, and it's not even that too. You got Dallas, and then you got Detroit, and then you have Dallas, and you lose those 2 games. You're falling back.
No. I'm not even saying that.
They're going further ahead.
We have to win
Detroit.
We have to win Detroit. Mm-hmm. Just because if we win Detroit, then like as a 1v1, then we could have maybe.
Well, you're thinking 3 teams from the NFC East.
Well, no, I'm not thinking that anymore. I'm thinking I thought you were making fun at my NFC North prediction that's long gone.
No, I let you do that to yourself.
The Giants and Redskins are right now, I'm thinking they're in. It's going to be either them or the Eagles get in. No one else is getting those spots. So we got to beat the Lions. Just in case we lose to the Cowboys, we are still in a fight to maybe get a tiebreaker based off a divisional record when everything's all said and done, because those last 3, I think we could sweep. I know the Bears got lucky, but the Bears don't have Jay Cutler coming back on a return now.
The era of Matt Barkley has begun
the era
in Chicago.
Of Matt Barkley. I think we could run the table against the Colts, Packers, and Bears.
You don't want those Jaguars in there?
And Jaguars. So,
okay,
the 4. The last one. I thought that was such an easy game, I didn't have to mention it, but apparently I did. And if we can win those last 2 divisional games along with the one against Detroit, that would go ahead, and I got to look it up really quick. That would put us overall at 4-2. 4-2 in the division. I'm talking about divisional record. Whereas Detroit, because we're both 1-2 right now. We're both 1-2. So if we would win and they would lose, they would go to 1-3, and then they'd still have to play the Bears and the Packers, where that win that we would have had would have still given us the tiebreaker over them. That's why Thanksgiving is so important, because then we can lose that Cowboy game and still be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think for me, I see a 9-7 record in the future for Minnesota. I think that Lions and I think that Dallas, I can't see the win like that. I can't see the win for either one of those.
Really? You don't see us then winning 4 straight to end the season?
No, I think one of those games are going to trap game you. I don't think it's Jacksonville, but I think the Colts or the Packers will probably be a trap game. You know, even the Bears, who knows? They might just for some reason feel like screwing up their chances of getting a good quarterback or something like that, and go from 2nd overall to 4th overall or something like that. Who knows?
I'm going to say this. This is my prediction. 10-6 record, but it's going to end one of 2 ways. If that 10-6 record involves a Lion win on Thanksgiving, we're in the playoffs. We're 10-6 winning the division.
If they beat the Lions.
Yeah. So if we win on Thanksgiving, finish 10-6, we'll win the division. If we don't beat the Lions, we will finish 10-6 and be out of the playoffs. We will be that team that does not make the playoffs at 10-6.
Mm-hmm. And we can't rule out the fact, I know we all want to be super down on Green Bay right now, but we can't rule out the fact that they could go.
I think that's a win.
I'm just saying that Green Bay can't go and say, hey, wait a minute. Let's win some games, guys, and start turning some things around.
The only reason why I'm saying that is a loss is because that game is going to be – Adrian Peterson is hopefully going to – if he comes back for that game, whether it's the Colts –
What's he running behind?
Wait.
What's he running behind?
Wait. Whether it's the Colts or he comes back that day, he's going to have some added momentum because that day, December 24th, the 5-year anniversary since he tore his ACL against the Washington Redskins.
Doesn't matter if you got nothing to run behind. What's he running behind? Worst offensive line in football.
We're not the worst. We're not
Might
good.
as well be.
We're not good, but
They're pretty shitty.
I think that his return is going to help us in that Packer game because that Packer defense can't do anything anyways.
I want to let everybody know that this is currently the worst running game in the NFL that we're talking about.
And the Packers secondary sucks. So all we got to do is just have an illusion of Adrian Peterson.
This is also a pretty
so they
bad
pack the box and then we
attack.
can just throw it out. Sam Bradford can get the job done though. He's made some great throws this year.
Yeah, he's not a bad quarterback, but the passing attack in Minnesota is not that great. It's below average.
Derek Carr and the Raiders? No, but I think it's
a below average passing attack and the worst running game in the NFL.
Well, that's because we don't have Adrian Peterson.
Even with Adrian Peterson got hurt because this offensive line is bad.
I don't think he got hurt because of the offensive line, but that's besides the point. Back to what I was saying. 10-6 is what I think the Vikings can do. However, this Thanksgiving game is going to decide whether. And at this point, if you're listening on YouTube, you guys already know how it ends.
Yeah,
you guys already know if I'm right or wrong. Well, kind of because they got to play the rest of it. But to answer the question, depending on when he comes back, I think that Adrian Peterson. It's going to be one of those things like save the season, no, but he could help us win.
Isn't it a kind of wash though? Because
what do you mean?
You're saying that they're going to probably win out those last 4 games. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a wash. He can't save the season if they're going to win anyways.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like I kind of want to say yes, he's going to save the season, but it's one of those things where if he comes back, Colts, Packers, I think the thing that he does is because we're going to beat the Jaguars, beat the Colts, I think he helps us more so beat the Packers than you think. That's what I think. I think that with him coming back, he'll help us beat the Packers, and then we'll beat the Bears. Whereas if he doesn't come back, that Packer game, I'm looking at it going, okay, we got to be on our A game. Because I know the Packers stink, but like you said, they could say, hey, we got to win some at the end, win some for the Gipper, so Mike McCarthy doesn't get the axe.
We want to save Mike McCarthy. He's done so much for us so far. Got to save him somehow. I mean, I think that this question kind of is a little bit of a wash because the easy part of the schedule is at the end here. Although at the same time, the Vikings lost 4 in a row, and we certainly didn't think that was going to happen. But I think that they're probably going to win some of those games. I'm still sticking to my 9-7. The great chance they're missing out in the playoffs, not for anything that they really did besides having a bad offensive line. Just because the NFC least, they will always be the NFC least in my heart, is just so fucking good this year. There's your oxymoron of the day. And they're going to go ahead and quite probably get 3 teams in.
Well, and that's going to do, unless you have anything else to say, I have nothing else to add on this. I think that it's one of those things where I want to say, yes, it's going to help us save the season, but really it's this Thanksgiving game that is the season.
Yeah. I do have one little quick question for you, Ricky.
Okay. Hit me.
Sam Bradford, let's assume he's healthy for the whole year, and Minnesota Vikings missed the playoffs. Are you still happy about the trade?
Yes. Yes, because without Sam Bradford and with any other quarterback that we would have had in there, we would not have been. You said 10-6, right?
9-7, 10-6 doesn't really matter.
I'm still happy because we wouldn't have been anywhere near 9-7 or 10-6 with Sean Hill as our quarterback. Did you see Game 1? Did you watch Game 1 by any chance?
I don't watch the Minnesota Vikings play football.
When we played the Titans,
I don't like to watch
You
Minnesota.
didn't see Sean Hill throw for, I don't know, no touchdowns, no INTs, at a QBR of 60.5.
Could have had Matt Barkley.
Could have Matt Barkley, you're right.
The era has begun.
And that was with an Adrian Peterson that only went 31 yards. So I am happy with the trade if we finish 9-7, 10-6, even if we don't make the playoffs, because Sean Hill wasn't going to bring us here anyways. And that's not a knock at Sean. That's just saying that Sam Bradford...
Could have had a good draft pick, though.
But this team isn't... It would be different if there was a quarterback where it's like, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's the one I want to get in the draft. Let's suck for him. None of these quarterbacks are like that.
What if you sucked enough to get that great running back?
But we have
Adrian Peterson's replacement.
But do we really need it?
You might.
I think this team, like Mike Zimmer's proven that this team can draft well, and they've got an identity, especially on defense with him, that I still would be I'm still happy with the trade because then we get Sam Bradford next year because we don't even know if Teddy's going to be coming back next year to play.
Ever.
But that's going to do it for the Onside Kick. A little long this week with the long edition. I'm glad you guys stayed with us, though, even on either on Blog Talk Radio or the YouTube channel. I want to thank you guys for listening. Go check out us on Twitter, the Mark Weber with 2 E's, Ricky Widmer. Those are down in the description. Also, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/most valuable podcast. Want to support the channel, make sure we can do cooler things like, hey, video podcast. You're not seeing our face this week, but if you want to see video podcast, give it to the Patreon page so we can make that happen for you guys. I want to thank you guys again for checking us out this week, giving us a listen. We can't wait to talk football with you guys again next week. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter @MostValuablePod for more great podcasts.